Believe it or not, I could easily sleep for 12 hours more. Easily. Those monk stuff, you lose alignment, it's just that you can pick more else. I will need to check that. I believe you don't lose what you got, but you can advance. You sleep long, Urian, so I guess you know that. Yeah. No, I didn't woke up now. Okay, I woke up like 6 hours ago or so. But I was outside doing things. Regarding our mission. What if I try to use my powers to open those old portals? Alas, it's unlikely to work. Portals, unlike the seal in Dresden, they cannot simply be swept away. If you use that method, you will either destroy them for good or open the path. But not the place where the portal initially led and where our quarry fled. The abyss. Stone at the entrance to these gates looks worn. There is no doubt they saw frequent use. Once used to be a working portal. The gates are inactive and lifeless. Shall we start with mythic pots first, or I don't know from where to start. We are in the next. It really is the abyss. I rested well, I did. 14 hours of sleep. Yeah. I was extremely dead. Holy shit, I'm heavy again. Bloody hell, I need to drop some more stuff. You don't know how dead I was. I was talking about it like 5 minutes ago. Two hardest fights in the game, I couldn't see half of the screen. Literally. Yeah, the queen sent us to the abyss. True. I even forgot that. Game is a bit laggy here, you know. It doesn't work perfectly well, like, for example, in the beginning. It's really laggy a bit. I don't know what's causing those lags. It feels weird, like it's a bit clunky. Could be these particles that are flowing, causing this shit. Frankly, I don't know why they had all of these particles. I would love to see the map without it. If you ask me personally, it's not needed. All of these orange particles. What's the point? We already read this yesterday, so I'm just gonna speed it up and get those skill checks. And I don't wanna touch it. Check what's in a cave. The longer you go, the word is exactly like in Kingmaker. Exactly the same shit like in Kingmaker. It's gonna get fixed over time, for sure. But the same thing happened there also. Midnight Fame. What do you mean Midnight Fame? I can get back to the Midnight Fame from here. Really? Succubus. Though it seems incredible, the deformed succubus body still contains a flicker of life. As you approach, she opens her eyes, her lips crusted with blood, release a groan. You, Baphomet spawn, run through your portal. You run to Hebzamira. You think you're strong, but Our Lady in Shadow is stronger. She will get her revenge anyway. Heal the succubus. Who did this to you? Hebzamira. Baphomet's daughter. I've been following. I wanted to warn Our Lady. Curses on Baphomet and his spawn. What were Baphomet's spawn doing here? Crystals. They've been mining crystals. They said it's to attack the Crusaders. I believe they wanted to attack the realm of Our Lady in Shadow. We just got here already tangled up in some web of intrigue. How that's for dumb luck. The ones who maimed you, where did they go? Through the port? Are you chasing them? Find them. I'll get my revenge even after I die. My key, I got it hidden in a lesser shaft. Another one with the bones. And another one in a bigger shaft among the old tools. Find them, follow their trail through the portal. Heal the succubus. Oddly, the healing powers have no visible effect. She just moans, slightly shakes her head and stares at you with her dull green eyes. Attack the succubus. Utters a soft cry and closes her eyes forever. Oh, and notebooks. Okay. Venerated Champion. Constitution 6. Bonus +2 on Fortitude. And +1 inside bonus to armor class against evil. And all of its effects. Azauris spin. They will polish it exactly the same as they did with Kingwing. But it's gonna take a lot of time. But you know what? The parts that were working great, and I'm talking about... let's say the game was great from tutorial area, then the entire Kenabres, then... then all the way to Dresden. That's where the game worked great, till that moment. In Dresden, it started to lag a bit. Okay. And during that act, it was half-half. Let's say 50-50. 50% was great, 50% was laggy. And then under the Dresden was solid. It worked great, and now it works like garbage again. It's gonna take a year or two for sure. The city of Katapesh remembers the villainous Zauris. As beautiful as she was depraved, this priestess was born into the family of the noble magician Contir. After he witnessed his daughter disturbing inclinations, he sought to root out the little girl's state through purifying rituals. But all of his efforts were for naught. Zauris' heart was evil through and through. She hated her father and swore herself to the demon lord Nocticula, who gifted her with a magic pin that could seduce and enslave people's mind after it tasted a single drop of their blood. Zauris used it to dominate Contir's will, then used his magic to bring death and destruction to the townsfolk of Katapesh. Her army grew day after day as she used the pin to enthrall new servants. Zauris reveled in her cruelty, and her terror lasted for many years. She smiled as she handed weapons to children and promised them freedom if they spilled the blood of their fathers. She made sacrifices to Nocticula and forced her father Contir to incinerate entire settlements. And yet the magician managed to retain a few shreds of free will. Not wishing to serve evil, Contir tricked his daughter into exploring an abandoned temple of Calistria, the goddess of lust and vengeance. Tempted by treasure and unaware that the temple was cursed, Zauris agreed, and she and her father set out to meet their doom together. The temple's most precious treasure was the Book of Redemption. Clad in cover of gold and jewels, it was magnificent. Zauris thought the book contained destructive spells, but realized her mistake the moment she opened it. All the braziers in the abandoned temple flared up, and crimson words seeped onto an empty page. The Book of Redemption chronicled Zauris' guilty acts in blood. The priestess cried out in unbearable pain as the curse struck her. Any murderer who entered the temple fell prey to their own crimes, endlessly experiencing the agony felt by each of their victims. The temple doors slammed shut and the magic of the pin faded. Zauris and Contir found themselves trapped at the altar. Delirious with pain, the priestess stabbed her father to death with a disempowered pin, and then pierced her own heart, but her spirit found no rest in the afterlife. The agonized face of the priestess kept haunting the subsequent owners of the pin for years, and even after the cursed item found its way back to Nocticula, Zauris the Crimson refused to vanish for good. Will it haunt me also, because I just looted it? Key to the Nexus portals. Flat piece of clouded crystal with traces of purple dust on it. The key's been found. Henry may have some ideas about how to use it. What do you look at this shithole? Well, let's check where this leads to. Back to Dresden. I can go back to Dresden. No, I can't go back to Dresden. Weird. There is one magical barrier here, though. Midden of enormous bones that likely came from giants. Here and there, rusty slave collars glint in the dust. Deep grooves seemingly left by a giant hand, furiously stretching the stone. Half-rotten remains of a giant are missing an arm. It's probably mutilated while he was still alive. Suture! Oh shit! I didn't kill him. He's here now. Suture. The giant bones look like a big noodle. Suture. What are you doing here? Muttering coming from the pile of bones. Gone, they're all gone. Left me with nothing. Been searching and searching, there's not even a trace. A large giant skull shakes, and old acquaintance of yours, the dredge called the Suture, climbs out from under it, grumbling and groaning. He notices you, he blinks, and then he says in a tone of extreme melancholy, "It's you. What are you doing here, Suture? Can't you see for yourself? Been browsing decorations for my newest luxurious place with a view of Ishiar's best beaches. I was on my way to see Mistress Arilo, but I can't teleport when I'm like this. Every lousy Brimorak can do it, but I can't. All I could do was reach the midnight fane and slip into the rift, but now I can go no further, so I've been searching for portal keys. Funny thing about Suture, his punishment was turning him into a dredge, and he was a Vescari. What portal keys? You've seen those big things up there on the surface. They were kept closed most of the time, so the slaves wouldn't run away. They can be opened with special keys. If I was lucky enough to find such a key, I would have left this nasty place in a heartbeat. And then who knows, maybe I could have found Mistress Arilo. Is Arilo around here somewhere? You're a funny lad, you are. My mistress, she's like the wind. One moment she's here and the next she's gone. She loves coming to Alush, to the abyss. I would have found her by now if I could get out of here. Alush is Alushinira. We're in Alushinira. What is this place? A former burrow. A little burrow dug by the Baphomet's threats in the mansion of illustrious Lady Nocticola. Former burrow. Once I visited this place with my mistress Arilo on business, and this place was abuzz with life. The slaves were working, the slave drivers were tormenting them, and Hefzamira was choking the life out of both. You know Hefzamira, do you? Nasty horn-headed Nephilim, and Baphomet's daughter to boot. Now there's no one here. As soon as I saw you and you ran away, why they all fled? Where did all of these bones come from? They belong to the giants who used to work in these mines. You don't think Baphomet's mining dug the rocks with their own hands, do you? This mine was depleted first, so they converted it into a dump. Every time an enslaved giant died, they dumped the carcass here. I'm here to find the source of Nahindrium crystals. You know anything about it? Well, you just found one. Good for you. This is the mine where they used to dig the crystals, but it was... Dante, thanks, Dante. How you doing, Dante? My microphone is doing little weird noises, and it happens only when I talk. That could be my air purifier behind me. What now? Can you hear me well now? Without the weird noises. It could easily be my air purifier. You can still hear weird noises or not. I doubt you can hear anything right now because I switched off the air purifier. When I smoke, I put the air purifier on to clean the smoke. That's the air purifier then. So the crystals can simply be mined like any regular mineral. Simply enough, but that's not simple. They can be mined, alright, but the crystals are very rare, extremely expensive, and that's all I know. Are there any other mines like this one? Several more on this island, as far as I could see. They all must have been depleted too. Baphomet's gang wouldn't have left this place if they had even a slim chance of finding more crystals. As for there being more mines elsewhere, I don't know. How long have demons known the secret of crystals? What is this secret you're talking about? Those crystals can be used in many ways. If you're talking about magic powers that can be extracted from a crystal and poured into a demon, no one could ever do it before my mistress. Even now, only a select few know how to do it. My mistress, I mean Lord Baphomet and the Skari, are no fools to share that kind of knowledge with the entire abyss. I have to go, Suture. You know what? You better look around really closely. Mayhap you'll find a key, a portal key. It looks like a faded piece of glass. It's filled with power. It'll shine purple. I'll walk around too, search some more. Suture. Suture the idiot. Stone is gouged and crumbled, and traces of glowing purple dust can be seen in several places. Key to Nexus portals. We got boats. Stampede. You add your rank in athletic skills as bonus to the damage roll on a successful charge. Only on successful charge attack. Those require specific build. Charge, Mythic Path. Huge athletics, huge strength, some two-handed monster weapon for a barbarian or a blood rager, then you put the boots of Stampede, you buff yourself up, and you charge on enemies from stealth. I believe you can easily do 200 to 300 damage with this. Easily. Extremely good, these boots. What do I got? What permanent effect of the freedom of movement? No. Yeah, I'll level up, I know I got it. You know I'm always conserving, non-stop. Thank God there's no one to fight. Thank God. Because I'm encumbered. Let's pick with the hand of the inheritor. Yeah, the game really works like garbage outside because of these particles. Regarding our mission, I have reasons to believe that Nahindrian crystals were mined right here in the mines. So the source of our troubles, these powerful crystals, can be mined from the soil of the abyss, as they were just ordinary minerals. I was convinced that the secret of their origin must be more complicated and nefarious. But this is new knowledge. The new knowledge terrifies me. There are half a dozen mines in the vicinity. Those mines are huge. The largest was abandoned just recently, it seems. How many crystals did the demons manage to mine? How many monsters with mythic powers did they manage to create? We must find out. I know the name of the person who was in charge of the mines, Hevzamira. I know her. She's an old and dangerous adversary, a Nephilim, a spawn of Baphomet himself. Now I see it. The path we have stepped onto is dangerous, but it's the right one. The demons you have encountered before, even Darazan, were just officers in the Abyssal Army. Whereas Hevzemira is a true princess of the spawn of chaos and evil. I'm not surprised that she's behind the secret of these cursed crystals. And I dread to think what she's capable of doing with them. A dying Succubus told me about the conflict between Nocticulas and Baphomet servants. I'm not at all surprised. The alliances between the demon lords are usually fragile, and they break like a spider's web in the wind. However, the discord between our enemies can work to our advantage, no matter how repellent it is for me to even countenance. We must learn more about what is going on. What if I try to use my powers to open those old portals? It's unlikely to work. They're unlike any seal in Dresden. I got a key to the portal that the demons who mine the crystals apparently used to leave this place. Let me take a look. I think I know how this key works. As soon as you finish exploring the mines, I shall open the portal. So, should I or not trigger this, and what will happen if I do? I really don't understand how it works. I know we're here for sure, and we're overlooking at that. Open the portal. Let us begin the pursuit at once. Onward, wherever this road may lead us. Heaven above, just look at that. I see the pattern of sky-piercing spires and steep domes set against the midnight sky. This is a Lushinira, the damn city of Nocticula. That's where our enemies were heading. You think you're quick, eh? Well, I'm quicker, Suture. Yeah. The angel blade is just a moment too late to touch the skin of a demon who rushes into the portal. The cunning creature has stolen our key. The portal is inactive again. I swear even the lowest of the abyssal creatures are disgusting and despicable. I got a second key. This portal leads to Lushinira. What could this mean? It means we will be looking for a particular clutch of demons among thousands of their kind. Lushinira is a real demonic metropolis, huge and macabre. It is a little safer, rather a little less dangerous than the other corners of the abyss. Lady Nocticula loves having visitors, including those from other planes. And she does not like if her guests are dying every day in her city. If it happens quietly and without too much attention, her black heart won't even skip a bit. We must be twice, even thrice as careful in this nest of sin. Will we have to move onward altogether? I do not think that will be necessary. We need an outpost in the abyss, and it will be best if we build it right here, far from larger demonic settlements and close to an active portal that will allow us to return here at any time. All your companions that are currently unoccupied should take care of guarding and setting up a camp. I got a second key. The demons' plots cannot stop us. We still haven't had much success encountering them. That is why we must make haste and move onward. The hand of the inheritor and a regular dretch steals the key away from him. In front of his fucking face. Suture. Let's go. Let me tell you something, champion. We're going to Lushinira, the city of cunning and seduction. As sad as am I to admit it, we're unlikely to find our enemies and the Nahidrian crystals they took without the aid of the denizens of this hideous place. If Zamira has something to do with all of this, we'll need another demon that matches her powers. We will need to find a way to make the contact with one of the city's rulers. On that point, we know that there is a conflict brewing between Nocticula and Baphomet. I will not be welcome in this dark place, but I have prepared for this. The angel seems truly proud of his plan. I will cast a spell on myself so that not a single denizen of this plane whose soul is devoted to evil will be able to see or hear me. Invisible, I will follow you and protect you from all dangers and temptations of this place as best as I can, and the demons will be unaware of my presence. Now let us go, by the light and the sword. I think the proper way to play the game and the canon way to play the game is definitely with Angel Mythic Path. Okay. And then all other paths. But this just feels right for the canon story. With Hand of the Inheritor. Because let's be real, when you enter Kenabres, you see those statues with the Hand of the Inheritor and the rest of those fallen angels. It is the canon story. Everything else is not. I can go back and tell to Voljev. I need to do it immediately. Lushinira. Lower city. How big is this map? It's gonna take forever. I need to find Voljev. And I'm alone now. Nice. So this is our hub. What are you doing? Place been sanctified. It can protect the area around it from the corruption of the abyss. Rigel, Nenio looking down on the city. It's time for the experiment. I hope these words inspire as much enthusiasm in you as they do in me. What's this experiment about? You see, I decided, though there would be a better term to address an issue, which up to now I prefer to avoid due to my total ignorance in this sphere. She lowers her head in embarrassment. I realize it's hard to believe that if a person of, let's keep the false modesty, superior intellect could know nothing so simple. It's never too late to fill in gaps in one knowledge, right? Talking about friendship, to be honest, at first I planned to assign the writing of this article for the encyclopedia to a co-author of some kind. But then I met you, my loyal follower, and suddenly I thought I could write it myself. Why no one says there is no game sound? Or you only like hearing me, goddammit? Is there a sound now? Tell me, people, you've been silent. Okay. So, you never had any friends? I see no sense in that. You're trying to say that you consider me your friend. You misunderstand me. I don't need friends. I have no desire to spend my time on them when I could spend it on new experiments and discoveries. I just want to learn what it is like to have friends for the encyclopedia, nothing more. I realize that you would like to consider me your friend. Who wouldn't? I'm a scientific luminary, after all. So I do apologize for disappointing you. Okay, let's get started. I'm glad you agreed. Many would consider my request too personal and refused. It's good that you're above such squeamish sentiments. Here, I made a list. I based it on my observations of individuals around me and on my personal knowledge of the topic, which I have to admit is far from comprehensive. She hands you a crumpled piece of paper. How to be a friend, a checklist. Study it well. We'll start as soon as you're ready. Do we have to follow this list? You're trying to say that I made it for nothing. I developed a perfect methodology that involves all the mechanisms of friendship between two individuals. But by all means, sure, let's just abandon the list. Read the list. Point number 1. Friends smile at each other. You raise your eyes to Nenia, who has already fixed a malevolent grin on her face, the kind that would make you soil yourself if you saw it in the dark of night. Respond with a brief smile. Give the unnatural grin on her face, Nenia hisses through her clenched teeth. You call that a smile? Come on, try again. Give her a wide smile. Your eyes bore in Nenia's and she stares right back at you, both grin as widely as possible. A minute passes in tense silence. She massages her cheeks with her hands. I never imagined being a friend was such an exhausting business. So, what's next on the list? Point number 2. Friends gossip about their other friends. I made some preparations for that. Let's get to it. Who are we gonna gossip about? About Camellia. Excellent choice. So what do you think of her? You love her, she's a good friend and a fine comrade in arms. I'm indifferent to her, I hate her. Let's skip the stage. I hate her. How interesting. Incidentally, yesterday I saw her. strutting around naked. Do you have any idea who we're even talking about? No, I don't make a point of remembering those I travel with. That's why I prepared these universally applicable pieces of gossip. This is ridiculous. I fully agree. This all seems like her sheer stupidity to me. How can we learn that stupidity is stupid without doing stupid things? We need to see the experiment through. Alright, stage 2 is now complete. What's next on the list? Point number 3, friends drink alcohol together. And then it says no longer required. Right, should cross out this point. Wrote this and then I checked the encyclopedia, recalled that I already conducted that experiment. Judging by the 7th encyclopedia, especially by an odd strain of that particular page, it would be unwise to say at least to try and repeat it. Point number 4, friends sometimes argue. You're uninterested and disinterested in this experiment. You can't even tell the difference between those two words. You can kiss my ass. Not too creative, but it will do. Now we can definitely be considered friends. You can kiss my ass. On that note, I conclude the 4th part of the experiment. What's left on the list? Point number 5, friends sometimes copulate. Oh yes, that. Take off your underwear. What? Now we're gonna engage in the act of copulation exclusively for the sake of carnal pleasure, bypassing the main purpose of all copulation, which is procreation. What part of that isn't clear? Not all friends have to do that. Is that true? Are you sure? What an unexpected and interesting piece of information. I must confess I wasn't so thrilled about this whole copulation idea from the start. It's so nice that science does not demand this sacrifice of me today. This thoroughly awkward experiment is finally concluded. I don't wanna fuck a fox, okay? No way. I learned what it means to be a friend and now I can write an article about it for Encyclopedia. I'm happy that it's over. I'm once again convinced that friendship is the most foolish of all occupations. You did it all wrong. Friendship is more than just smiling, gossiping, bickering, and sex. Is it? We concluded all the assigned actions typical for two friends. Of course, I could have compiled an extended list, which would have included joint food ingestion and senseless banter with the aim of showing each other in the least attractive light. How would that change the situation? Do you know what I will write in the encyclopedia? Friendship is a set of primitive rituals intended to help individuals forget about their loneliness. However, I have no interest in that. I see my loneliness as a sign of my uniqueness. The one who leads the way is always alone. Now I have time to answer your questions. Come on, ask away. What a weirdo, Nino. Rigel. Nothing with Rigel. Wenduag. Nothing with Wenduag. The fuck is Voljev? Where's the rest of them? Don't tell me they're in a cave. Please don't tell me they're in a cave. God damn it, they're in a cave. Bunch of maniacs. Voljev. Oof. First of all, you got something new. Crimson Banner. While this item is active, all critical hits made by you or against you are automatically confirmed. 300,000. This is 300,000. What the fuck? While this item is active, all critical hits made by you or against you are automatically confirmed. This is great on a ranged character. Absolutely monster on a ranged character, but it's 300,000. Slaughter plus 40 dex and con. Bloody hell, 300,000. Automatically confirm crits. Okay. Nearly 500,000. Should I sell Heart of the Device? Nearly 40,000. Yeah, you can buy like in Kingmaker. With Grey Boy. Still, I will learn the way to my sword. I will have faith in the inheritor. I'm the first in the battle and the last to live it. With her eyes half closed, Scylla whispers the words of the oath of Yomedea's paladins. Trailing off, she opens her eyes and sighs. How did we end up here? I never would have imagined I'd find myself in the abyss. We will overcome everything we face so far. We'll get through this as well. I always had faith in us. I will keep having faith, but sometimes a girl needs a few words of encouragement. How are you? Ellen's wedding. Things didn't go exactly as planned. What does it matter how I am? I can't stop thinking about everyone who suffered. Clever Scylla, the paladin, companion of the gods, chosen one, didn't even notice a demon conspiracy right under her nose. I'm going to officially change my name to Scylla the Dimwit. That's how I'll introduce myself to everyone I meet, so that they know they can't count on me. If we're too late to save the souls of all these victims, I'll never forgive myself. You know what else I keep thinking about? What happened to the Carl? Did he really want to steal the ring? Did he just get what he was coming to him? Or was it the fault of the demon who possessed his body? So many questions and so much grief. As if a whole world wound and 2 demon lords out there just waiting to hurt us wasn't enough. That's something here. Diran looks rather distracted. He's staring into space as though he's listening to something deep inside himself. Finally, he notices you and his lips quirk into a nervous smile. So many people have cursed me and told me I'll end up in the abyss when I die. I suppose I rather deftly subverted their expectations by getting here while I'm still alive. You don't like it here, do you? Treat this as another adventure. You can endure some danger and discomfort for the sake of our cause. Quit whining, we came here for a purpose. If anyone could get themselves out of this mess, it's us. I think it fit in quite well here. No, I would not. The Dema shall always be food, first and foremost. I don't even think the Abyss has any kind of high society. The strangest demons torture their lesser brethren just as enthusiastically as they torment mortals. And besides, there's nothing for me to do here even if I could ensure my physical safety. I'm more than certain that my ideas of happiness and the joys of living are completely different from the demonic definitions. Social. He's drawing something. He notices that he hurriedly folds over the paper. Don't tell me you managed to find some beauty in the abyss. No, I tried, but I can't. Not here. May the goddess forgive me, but it's beyond my powers. Struggling for inspiration. My drawing is just not flowing the way it normally does. This place doesn't inspire creativity. Now you know your brother used to be a Hell Knight. What do you think about it? Always despised these people. But my brother left the path of a service to the goddess. He made a place for himself among them. He did a lot of good, it seems. I don't know what you think. Perhaps I shouldn't have put Trevor on a pedestal. Perhaps I shouldn't have treated those knights so poorly. You see, I was quite fervent in my beliefs as a boy, and though the teachings of the goddess had already revealed to me all the truths I should know, now I realize I don't know a thing about the world around me or about myself. Perhaps this war will chew me up the same way it did to Trevor. Or perhaps his example will keep me from breaking. Hello, my friend. Do you know how much I love calling you that? Of course you do. Camellia, goddammit. She was all polite and good, you know, for 150 hours or so, and now she's a fucking monster. Monster.
Move out.
Oof. Shall we begin? There's a lot to do. And I wonder from where to start first. I know where I'll start first. Rigel has a negative level for over 100 hours. Okay. Over 100 hours with negative level.
No one stands in my way.
Die. It says I got charisma drained, but I think it's a bug. We begin by levels. Grey Boar. As a Slayer. As a Slayer, you get a lot. Now what shall we do with you? I'm gonna give him Thunder Armor. Next. Russia. Fighter or Hell Knight. Armiger or Hell Knight. put a point into Blood Rager and give him Blood Rage. Good, son, I'm good. As an armiger, a weapon training, and a feat as a Hell Knight, a Lawbringer, lawful, to overcome damage reduction. As a Blood Rager, three spells. And rage. I'm gonna take a Lawbringer now. And I should max Hell Knight. There is a critical focus. There's a vital strike. There's toughness. There's the goddamn Piranha Strike. There's a greater weapon focus and a greater two weapon fighting that will add an offhand weapon extra attack. Appreciate Hobo, thanks for the follow. We're gonna go with higher crits. Critical focus. Higher crits. It's all about dices. I really want to make use of those dices. Social. Ah! Holy shit. That's a huge level for social. I don't even know what weapon I'm gonna use with so. It's a tough choice. I need to decide what weapon I wanna use with Socio and give him that weapon. There is a speed corrosive. Short speed. Do I give him a short speed? Yeah, I do. I'll give him a short spear. Short spear. $21 instead of 19. 4 attacks instead of 3 attacks. That's quite a lot. It can't compare to me though, but it's quite a lot. For a cleric, that's a lot. Ember. Feet. Spells. Feet. Spells. Overcome spell resist with arcane focus. It's gonna be elemental focus fire. Elemental focus fire. Pick one level 5 spell. Okay, thanks. To see. Although I got communal, I don't need it. I don't need it, I got communal. We take some distractions. Greater Dispel. One level 7. Legendary Proportions. Done. Meu! Prestani. Juti. Волчев. We go with the Trickster. Critical Focus. I'll take a Hungry Pit. I wanna test it out, see how it works, because I believe I can stack them. And cheese enemies with that. Now, Life Bubble is a must, but it's bugged, it doesn't work. There's nothing I can do about it. And we go with Elemental Body too. Let's see the 4th level spells though. Maybe I missed something good. Take Elemental Body too. I don't intend playing with Venduax, so I literally don't care what happens with her. I really don't care about her. Confirm crits, I don't care. Yeah, 2 level 5 spells. Stone Skin Death Ward. Can say the same about her also. Because I don't intend to play with Camellia. Stick with Assassin. Remember the gap. They all leveled up. Oh, there's a horse. He's got improved evasion. Heavy party. Mythic pot. Movenic Devas now, instead of a Movenic Deva. Astral Deva, Astral Devas. Spirit Guardians, Spirit Guardians. Improved Angelic Halo. Angel can select an improvement in the Angelic Halo ability. Improved Angelic Halo. Mythic Angel gets Celestial Halo. Each ally within 50 feet of the angel gets bonus equal to half Angel's Mythic rank plus 1 to armor class and saving throws against attacks by evil creatures. Less stand is no brain, I need less stand. It's just OP. Best thing that you can take, no matter the class, to be honest, it's less stand. It just needs to be melee. But less stand buys you 12 seconds. 6 characters, 12 seconds, you do the count. How much is that? 72 seconds. You got 72 seconds for every annoying fight. That's a fucking lot. I believe it's gonna get nerfed. Okay? Because I can only imagine what I can do with full mercs. With less stand. Full merc team with less stand. Imagine buying 72 seconds. With custom made characters. You just can't die. Then everyone can abuse this, because also penalties for resting are small. If penalty, there are two ways to fix less stand. Nerf less stand to around to 6 seconds, or limit a character if it uses less stand to not be able to use other spells. I believe it's completely broken. Or raise resting penalties because of less stat. They should triple the amount of resting penalties if you take less stat. That's the proper way to balance. Because everyone can abuse this. And that's completely broken, and that it buys 72 seconds. That's more than a minute where you're invulnerable. Completely invulnerable. The only way to balance this shit is with a huge penalty. If they want to keep less stand in the game. So basically all they need to do is to add a bonus inscription penalty. Resting applies triple amount of penalties. Okay. So you can't abuse it. I believe it's completely broken for all difficulties, from story to unfair. Completely broken. And believe it or not, I was playing without less stand on the main character all the time. Till now. It can be done without less stand. This is the living proof that it can be done without less stand. If I had less stand on my main character from the start, all the fights would also be way much easier. Now let's pick an improved Angelic Hail. When Angelic Hail is active, enemy that attacks the angel first time in a round must pass a fortitude saving throw, DC 10 plus twice the angel Mythic rank, or be blinded for 1d4. On a successful saving throw, the enemy will become dazzled for a minute. Whenever Angelic Halo is active, all demons and undead creatures in the 50 feet area suffer 2d6 mythic rank points of holy damage each round. The fuck? Burning Bright. While Angelic Halo is active, an ally suffers damage, they receive fast healing equal to Angel's mythic rank for 1 round. 5 health per round. When Angelic Hail is active, all enemies in 50 feet area suffer penalty to spell resist equal to 1 plus half the Angel mythic rank, as well as penalty to all saving throws equal to half the penalty of spell resist. What? What? I can roll in with less standing enemies. Okay, and I reduce their spell resist. And I just bombard with Diran and Ninja. Okay, with Piercing Rays. When Angelic Hail is active, all allies in a 50 feet area gain a bonus to fire, cold, acid, electricity resist equal to 5 per Angel mythic rank. And a bonus to Sonic and negative energy resist equal to 3 per Angel mythic rank, as well as bonus to Force of Holy, and Divine resistance. Okay, this is pure resistant. When Angelic Hail is active, the Angel doesn't suffer any damage from the ally spells that have an area of effect. If an Angel is the main target of such a spell, it becomes empowered, as though using the Empower spell fit. The DC of the saving throw against it is increased by 2. This is also, you go in alone and you have spellcasters behind you. What I'll take though, I like Piercing Rays the most and Burning Bright. One out of these two. Burning Bright, flat damage, holy damage each round for 2d6, and Piercing Rays, I reduce enemy spell resistance and their saving throws. Speaking about Die Hard, do you know if Die Hard stacks with less stat? If it stacks, that's 3 rounds of being indestructible. That's nearly 20 seconds. Does it stack? Did anyone try? If it stacks, then it's completely broke. Completely broke. I did not take Vivisectionist at all. I don't want to abuse it. As you can see, no one has Vivisectionist. I'll take Burning Bright. Greybor. Defensive study. Specific to Slayers. For example, why is defensive study good and useless at the same time? It's great if there was no last stand. Then you would be forced to take defensive study. But when you have last stand, what's the point of having the armor? There is no bloody point. Let's be real. I would immediately take it if not for last stand. But I see no point. I literally see no point. And in that case, we're gonna take a leading strike. And leave a mark on enemies. Regiel. Abundance Might Chaos. 2 additional times Might Chaos. Any means necessary. Hell Knight attacks are treated as good aligned for the purpose of overcoming damage reduction. I have Lawful aligned as Hell Knight, and now I can take good aligned and Lawful aligned combined, so I'll deal damage to evil and chaotic at the same time. If I take this to overcome damage reduction. It's either leading strike or that thing with good damage align. Magic nullification is also great. Restraints is also fucking great for all melees. You cannot be frightened, dazed, sick, shaken, staggered, nauseated, stunned, paralyzed, or confused. Those ruptured restraints are also good. So it's either gonna be ruptured restraints or it's gonna be any means necessary to overcome damage reduction. Eventually you'll end up with both. I can pick 3 more. It's just the question what 3. Okay. One is gonna be ruptured restraints, the other one is gonna be any means necessary, and the third one that's really good is thundering blows or magic nullification or a leading strike. That's the third one for a Hell Knight. Since this is Hell Knight specific, I should take any means necessary. And then we're gonna take Rupture Restraints on the next Mythic path. I mean, it's gonna be Mythic Feet into Mythic ability. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 left to pick. Social. Abundant Casting. Nobility Domain. Mythic Channeling, Toughness, Mythic, Bypass Damage Reduction. Swift Action for all domains. Domain Zealot. That ain't bad also on a Cleric. Improved Abundant is just straight broken. There's also a favorite meta magic. You can reduce requirements to a minimum of 0. You can pick another domain also. Clerics definitely, like, they're so bloody broken. They can use everything from melee, from less 10, leading strike, unrelenting, ruptured restraints, magic nullification, additional abundant casting with this abundant casting over here, leader, extra domains, meta magic favorite, enduring spells, domain zealot. Like, they can use literally every mythic ability with success. Every mythic ability with fucking success. I keep saying it like in the last 3 weeks or so. It's the most versatile class in the game. For a reason. You can really play them however you like. And you're not wrong if you pick any of those. We're gonna go with improved abundant casting. I like using a lot of spells. But everything works on clerics. Absolutely everything. Frankly, if they add more penalties on resting, bigger penalties on resting, then improved abundant casting is a must. There is no thinking. Right now, it's just a flavor right now, because you can always spam rest. But if they nerf that resting, then you really need abundant casting on everyone. They didn't balance it well. They need to rebalance the entire game. Simple as that. Beneficial curse. Additional oracle curse, but it gives you no penalties. Ascendant summons. Always a chance, blah blah blah. Abundant casting. Now I can go with improved abundant casting. Or I can just wreck into some Ascendant element. I believe she deals a lot of fire damage, so enemies will start receiving fire damage from me with Ascendant element. Then we take improved abundant casting on the next one. Perhaps even instead of Mythic Feat, I'm not sure to be honest. What you need to take on a witch. If you play a fire witch, then a fire ascendant element. If you play a cold witch, then a cold ascended element. If you play a necro witch, it's gonna be negative energy. You need abundant casting for a witch. You need these beneficial curses, they're absolutely great. Because it removes penalties from Oracle. And you just receive positives out of it. There is a favorite, Meta Magic. There's a Witch's Wandering Hex. You can select any hex you like. But you lose all the hexes you learned. We're gonna go with fire for Ember. Woljeff. What shall we do with you, Woljeff? Woljeff as Eldritch Scoundrel and the Arcane Trickster can literally profit out of at least 15 of those mythic abilities easily. I do the same, Dr. Dunk. I do the same. I rarely rest. I always push it to the limit. And that's why they should increase the penalties for resting. Make people rest less. And think about what spells they're gonna cast and when they're gonna cast. Alright? How can they balance the game? They should nerf unfair till you reach first mythic level. Okay, just a tad bit, like 20% nerf on unfair. They should up penalties for resting from the start. And they should up the difficulty after you receive mythic level. Or they should do something with less stand and give some penalties on it. And unfair can remain the same after that. That's the way to balance this. There is no other way. And I believe it's the most simple way to balance the entire game like that. Regime, how you doing, Regime? Oh, they will balance it. Make sure they will balance it. They watch, you know. There's maybe like 10 of us that do hard and unfair runs, that do those comparing boss fights and talking about spells, what's good, what's wrong. They watch everything, alright? They will do it. It's not a big deal to do it. As I said, 20% nerf till you reach Mythic Path. 20% buff difficulty after you receive Mythic Path. Get penalties on less stand. So they stop abusing that. get penalties, bigger penalties on resting. And the problem is solved. It's not a big deal. They can do it. Wojip. I wanna try always a chance. You don't ultimately miss when you roll a 1 on an attack roll. I don't know if it's good or not. I need to test. I would take abundant casting, but I would love to test. It's abundant casting, always a chance, or leading strike. And that's about it. I don't know. I think also always a chance is bad. But I don't know until I try. Feeling about itemization and rewards so far. Oh, that's a huge topic. It ain't that bad for some classes, and for some classes it's a disaster. You literally need to know what items drop, when, on what level, on what area, and in what act. So you can make a perfect team of mercs that will be using those items properly. It's not like you're gonna play whatever, what you like the most, and it's gonna be good, alright? And that's only now because of items. So I would say like 10 classes can really profit out of this itemization, and the rest of the classes are just fucked. No matter how you put it, they're fucked. That's my opinion about itemization. I also believe it's horrible, but I don't know until I try, with always a chance. But from what I read, I believe it's horrible, too. I would take it by now on someone to try. The roll should be 10, not 1. Then it would make sense. A trickster feat that makes all 1 rolls like a 20? Ah, that's why they made always a chance, because of a trickster. And it makes sense because it's a trickster. You roll bad, then you crit hard. Then it makes sense. If trickster now can abuse always a chance. That's it. So this was made for a trickster on. Good to know. Don't be disappointed about itemization, okay? Because they gave you like what 20 plus classes to play with addition of multi classes, okay? How do you think they should balance items? They just can't do it for all classes. It's fucking impossible. So don't be disappointed. I'm not. I'm really not. You just need to know what to play. You can't play whatever. I mean, you can play whatever the fuck you like on easier difficulties, alright? But for hard, for unfair, you need to know what items drop when and make a perfect team around those items. I'm gonna take a leading strike. They're like completely whatever. This is vent you up. Yeah, the ranging shots. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I made a crossbow character out of her. Unrelenting, always a chance. This is a last stand. Simple as that. Should I test cleaving shot? Or we go with improved aim, the ranging shots. Improved aim, ranging shots. I'd rather go with this. Nenia. Nenia. You already got improved abundant casting and abundant casting. One shutter and a buffer with Nenia. One shot and buff. It should be enduring spells. It should be enduring spells. A lot of those spells will last for 24 hours. A lot of them. Like a fucking lot. And that's huge. Again, even enduring spells is not needed that much because there are no penalties to resting. If there were higher penalties to resting, then enduring spells into greater enduring spells, into abundant casting, improved abundant, into greater abundant casting is a must. on every buffer, damage dealer, and so on. Since there are no penalties, or better to say those penalties are straight dead hilarious, I'll take it now, because it's companions. With mercs, no. No. You don't need it. You really don't need it with mercs. You can always rest. You have one character with good lore religion, you can rest like, I don't know, 6 to 8 times in a row before the first penalty. Now, even if you receive the first penalty, there's always those altars that you can clear the penalties. And if you don't find altars and you roam around the map, there is a teleport back to Dresden where you can rest in peace. Okay, that sounded awkward, but